Facebook,
Awesome. Today's what? The
and
July
we should
30th.
be live on Facebook.
Awesome. Well,
July 30th. Good morning.
happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday, July 30th. Yes. We have two of my favorite people here.
Yes, happy birthday.
Uh, I'll give proper introductions. First and foremost, we have Sid here from the huge convention. He's joining us as our special guest, but first and foremost, my main man, Mark Deeds Klatzinski. Happy birthday, Deeds. Big ol' hugs and a big ol' yeah. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
pal.
Thank you. Turn the big
No
30.
way.
So it's a big day. Yeah.
Way to go. I didn't realize it's your birthday today. Awesome.
Yeah, me neither.
It
Yeah.
was a surprise to almost all of us.
Yeah.
Well,
I go into the radar with birthdays, serial numbers, all that fun stuff. But
well,
yeah, it's a good day. I'm turning 40. So it's another step, another
So
milestone.
40 is a big one, Deeds. And I hope
Yeah.
you and Kylie get a chance to get some time together, get a chance to celebrate. And you've done a lot of remarkable things in your life. And I want to
Well,
congratulate
thanks.
you on all those wonderful things that you've done. But I also want to say thank you for giving me a push to do this and giving us, you and I, the opportunity to have wonderful conversations with some big hitters in our industry and not very many bigger than the one joining us today. Sid, do me a solid. Pronounce your last name because I don't want to butcher it.
yeah, it's graph, like
Okay,
graph paper.
there we
Yep.
go.
Cool. Super easy. Well,
Sid
thanks for
Yeah.
joining
Graef
us,
is
Sid.
joining us. You're responsible, one of the cogs in the machine that is the huge convention. But you're joining us from the warehouse today. What else do you do, Sid? What do you have your hands involved in?
Yeah. Thanks. First of all, I didn't realize it was your birthday, and I brought a couple of shirts. I'm going to bring one of these to you at the convention. This
Heck
is
yeah.
Awesome.
a
Thank you.
Fueled by Freedom t-shirt, and that's one of the taglines we're using this year at the huge convention. But this is
Cool.
like a test drive. There's only like 40 of these shirts in existence. We're not making
Sweet.
these, and you get one. Happy
Awesome.
birthday.
Thanks, Sid. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming
That's
on.
rad.
Awesome. So thanks for that question. It's interesting to me when I started window cleaning 32 years ago, and I had one big goal, and that was I have to pay rent in 2 weeks. I had no intention of starting a business. I was just trying to hustle up some rent for me and my new wife. And so 32 years later, we've got a really nice window cleaning company here in Western Montana. I've got a dozen employees and a really tight team. We work hard together. So I'm rarely in the field anymore, but they get to see me almost every day. And we get in and get our hands dirty together. And I'm at our warehouse right now. In our warehouse, about 6 years ago, we had some space, and we got guys coming and going. Here's our little stack of, we call them
Nice.
Kit and Caddy, where everybody does their stuff. We were like, hey, we come in the morning, and everybody leaves, and this warehouse is empty for 8 hours. What do we do?
That's wild.
And an opportunity came up, and we bought a friend's auto detail business. So there's a couple of cars in here. We usually have 2 or 3 vehicles in. So we've got just do window cleaning and auto detailing. That's our primary business. And then 5 years ago, we had a crazy opportunity to take over the huge convention from Chris Lamborghini's and Thad Eckhoff, who did like you guys. I know you know Chris well, but
Yes.
Chris and Thad are like I don't want to call them the odd couple. That's not a negative thing. They're like,
Yeah, not in a derogatory way.
no,
Yeah,
no. It
Walter
just seems like
Matthau and John Lennon.
how did these guys get together? And they built They built a conference for guys like you and I that love to hustle, that love to build, that love to make a difference. That it feels like a family reunion. And so anyway, when the opportunity came up, I was like, oh hell yeah, I want to be a part of that. Yeah,
I'm so glad. I'm
that's the
so
backstory.
glad that you did, dude. And you and I have had the opportunity to visit. And I've popped onto many of your live streams. In case anybody hasn't seen or heard, Sid does live streams weekly, during this time of year, almost daily and multiple a day with different guests that are going to be speaking at the huge. And one of the best things that I found was I get a chance to listen to these people in a little smaller forum, right? So I can hear the speakers. I get their pregame. I get their insight before, when they're fine tuning. a couple days before they go into the show, and I get to hear what what they're promoting or how they're going to go about uh, their presentation in a much smaller forum. And then I can kind of ask the questions without having to feel like, hey, I'm interrupting or whatever. So they usually, I feel like I get a sneak peek at whoever's going to be at the huge. So it's one of my favorite ways to consume some of the presenters and speakers that are going to be at the huge, and a great way to meet them ahead of time. So if you haven't done it yet, pop on to Sid's live streams. He has great guests, super informative. He tends to give away some free stuff, tickets or stuff like that. I don't know if you're in that industry or business again this season, but so yeah, pop on because it's a great way to consume some of that information. And thanks for, I'm so glad that you're joining us from the warehouse today too. And I did hear recently on one of your other podcasts that you did pick up that auto detailing, and it was kind of like you fell into it and now you're enjoying it. It's a cool gig and you're helping another family and other people, you know, that's
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah, it's got an interesting story. One of the guys that used to work for me cleaning windows, good, hardworking, hustle. He came to me one day and he said, Sid, I want to start my own business. I'm going to do auto detailing. And yeah, I'm like, I'm all for it. Somebody wants to start their own thing, even though I lost a good employee.
Yeah.
He's like he wanted to get out there and like test himself against the marketplace. And he started a mobile auto detailing. He did it for about 5 years, and he would call me for advice a couple times a year. And one day, out of the blue, he called and he's like, Sid, I'm moving to Texas next week. You want to buy this company? And my answer was flat, no, I am not interested. I have zero interest. I'm busy already. And he's like, come on, just look at it. And he wanted a lot of money for it. And it was like, he didn't, he ran it like a side hustle, not a business, which is, it's
Yeah.
not terrible. It's just him, but it wasn't sellable. I said, let me look at your P&L. And he said, what's that? I'm like, you got to have records for your business that show the financials. And he's like, well, you can look at my bank statement. I'm like, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for. I need to know, is it profitable? Do you have repeat customers? Any of that stuff. And he didn't have. So what we ended up doing is I gave him a few $1,000s and I said, I will give you 20% of the revenue of this thing for a year. And if it's doing what you say it does, you'll get all your money. And if it's not, I'm not getting screwed. So we did that. The first thing I did, which was something I'd never done before. I when we took it over, we put all the phones to voicemail. We told everybody we booked out for 2 weeks, and we just worked on the processes and systems, and we wrote down every standard operating procedure the best we could. Like, this is how we're going to answer the phone, do the thing, detail the cars, communicate with the customers, all the stuff. Put it into, like, we made a manual for the company, and then I had one of my sons run it as manager and hire the
Mhm.
people. And so with my window cleaning company, I've always been in the weeds, like just in it. And it's
Yeah.
hard for me to extract myself because I've done every position and I couldn't get out of the day-to-day operations at all for 20 years. The auto detailing, my one goal was I will never detail a car. It's
Yeah.
going to be a business that runs without me. I don't need to be the specialist. I just need to be the guy that gets the business. And I broke that. In 7 years, I've detailed 2 cars because one day we had 2 guys called in sick. And we have a small crew, and I was like, "Well, I'm in the field today." Otherwise, I've got a brilliant team of young men that care and they hustle and they're good with customer service, and they just run the whole freaking thing. And like, I spend an hour and a half a week with my team leader, who's now my partner. He actually bought into the company this year.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really cool. It's surprising that, and I don't know, like your guys' background. Did you start your companies from nothing? It's just you, and you decided you're going to be in the window cleaning business and just get out and get
Yeah.
busy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
Deeds take the first one on this one.
Well, my wife and I were thinking, do we have a third kid or do we take the two to Disney? So, taking the two to Polynesian Resort for a week or having a kid, it's about $9,000. So I figure I'm going to get a part-time job. We're going to have a third kid. Deed's lady in my neighborhood drove up with her clipboard, took it out, and started writing something down. So I went out to get the paper or whatever. So, hey, Deb, what's going on? She goes, we got stuff on the side of your house. Don't worry, everyone's getting a letter in the spring. We need to get the neighborhood cleaned up. It's been a while. So I walked in the house, told my wife I'm going to start pressure washing. So I jumped on YouTube and started watching, all the YouTube greats to figure out what to do, how to buy, what this, that. started my business. 10 months later, my son was born, and I did. Then Corona hit, 2020. So I went to this full time for a while, jumped off into part time, and just about a week or two ago started doing full time again. So I'm back in pressure washing, window cleaning, and it's been a great ride this whole time. And my son is turning 6 uh, this year in October, so I've been in business for a little over 6 years or so. It's pretty cool.
Congratulations. That's cool.
Yeah,
You know,
thank you.
you beat all the odds. You know, most it's like 80% of businesses go away in the first 2 years. It's
Mhm.
that number goes up to 90% after 5 years. Like people
Wow.
start
Yeah.
and then they leave for whatever reason. Maybe they fail, maybe they just move on. But
Sure.
not a lot of people stick with it. So well done.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and I got to start, I don't know, probably about 16 years ago. I've been washing windows off and on for over 20, but I started doing it about 16 years ago. And then my brother helped me get registered through the state back in 2012. And I was kind of like a bucket Bob, not kind of, I was like a bucket Bob, like knocking on doors with my backpack and a bucket. I didn't have a second family vehicle. So I was doing everything on foot. And in Arizona,
Yep.
everything so far spread away. But I was going in different neighborhoods and passing out pieces of paper, not door hangers, not business cards, not, you know what I mean? Like I would print out my details sheet of what it is services that I was offering, and everything was window cleaning. Um, and just handing it over to clients and going on to the next and on to the next. And you may or may not know this, but back in 2019, I stopped drinking. And when I after I stopped drinking, life changed for me. I was still doing other things on the side. I was working for a friend, and I realized I couldn't do some of the things that I used to do, but I can still clean windows. Um, so I kind of redid exactly how I started, and it was me knocking on doors and carrying my bucket and passing out flyers and doing it that way. And like Mark said, Corona, the 2019 hit, and I was afraid I was going to lose my ass. I was like, man, no one's going to buy. This is crazy. What am I doing? And instead it blew up. And,
Yeah.
so here we are 6 years later. And I'm here talking with you. And it's because of events like the Huge, though, that we're able to do this in forums like Pro Window Cleaning, where it's not like I didn't know any of this stuff existed. I didn't know these rooms. I didn't watch YouTube, like Deed said. I'm not really a tech guy, so I didn't really hashtag we do recover. Damien posted that. That is something
Did
that
it.
he and I both are.
Morning, Damien.
Yeah, he and I both have ties to our community. He's right. We do recover. And there's nothing better than, in my eyes, than somebody who suffered from some illness of some sort that just wants to keep fighting and kicking ass. And that's exactly what I felt like I was doing. And giving back to our community and putting our money back into, our small business types of industries. And that's just, yeah, man, that's just what we've been rolling with. But I know I'm not the only one in our community that's battled some demons, that's gone through some trials and tribulations. And one of the things that I was able to find out from the Huge was there's a ton of us just like me that have done it. And last year I kind of went around the convention and I talked to a bunch of different people and made a bunch of new friends and found out there's a shit ton of us that are battling some kind of demon, that want to get better with themselves personally, that want to continue to grow, and that want to help their fellow man and woman. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the Huge is where I kind of like it helped me kind of blossom and grow into what it is that Deeds and I are doing right now.
Yeah.
So props to you guys at the Huge, and props to everybody in Pro Window Cleaning. And it's been a fantastic ride, and I can't wait to see what you guys have in store. Who are some of the speakers that you're looking forward to hearing from this year?
Okay. So you mentioned earlier, how, like, I do the live streams to help
Yeah.
introduce the breakout session speakers to a broader audience, so that you can go, like, I don't know who I'm going to go listen to, but you can preview them and find out. One of my favorite things about my involvement in the Huge, I call myself the speaker wrangler. I get to
Yeah.
meet all the speakers, and I get to spend time with them, and I get to meet some really cool people. And the other day, somebody said, "Man, Sid, you ask some cool questions." I'm like, I'm just asking questions that I want to know. It's kind of selfish in a way, as I go, if I get somebody on like Brian Gottlieb, he's one of our keynote speakers on day one, and he built $150 million empire doing bathroom remodeling. He started from scratch, 3,000 bucks, no context. He was starting over in his life. And but I get to ask him questions. I'm like, I don't know what that's like. So how do how do you wrangle, how do you manage the leadership? How do you do the things that takes to grow to that scale? Because I don't know anybody that's got a private jet except for Brian. I'm like, how do you get to that? But I go, this is what's crazy. So you're celebrating your birthday, Deeds. The 40s, my 40s was one of the, like, I couldn't believe how cool a decade the 40s was, because you've still got the juice to do stuff. You've got a lot of energy, but you also have a lot of wisdom. You know how shit works, but you still
Yep.
have the energy to get shit done. It's brilliant. Brian, so I'm 59. Brian was 50 when he started that company. 50. I don't know what his career was before that, but that's a full career. He had 30 years of doing something, and
Yeah.
he was starting over from scratch. And in 12 years, he built this empire. I'm like, holy shit, what's that like? And I go, hey, I was 50 when I decided to take my business seriously. Like, I was, you said Bucket Bob. I was Bucket Bob for 22 years and having a ball. I loved it. I didn't think small of myself, like, oh no, you should make something of yourself. I was like, this is great. I'm helping people. Then I started taking it seriously and built a business. Back to your question. I'm really looking forward to seeing Brian on stage. He is not a public speaker. That's not his job or his profession. He's
His
just a guy
comfort
that
zone
did
either.
well. Yeah, probably not his comfort zone. And but Mark Sheridan, on day two, he is like, he started as a small business guy, built a good business, really found a niche, and wrote a book about it, and became like, he is a public speaking guy. He keynotes all the time.
Yeah.
So there'll be very different experiences. But on the back end, you got it's like, if whatever you're looking for in your business, if you go, I need to get more leads, you can go find. There's a young kid named Jonathan Henderson. I met him at our mastermind 3 months ago, and he's quiet, young dude. He's probably 22 years old, and I think his business name is Pressure Washing Leads or something. But there's a lot of guys online that goes, I'll help you get leads for your business. This guy knows his shit. He's
That's
deeply
cool.
embedded in how to get people to find you and call your business. And he's like, he's got that level of integrity and honesty. And I'm like, I can't wait to hear him speak, because
Yeah.
he's going to teach everybody about the different, like, how does SEO work in an AI based search world? It's different. It's like the old Google search is like, you Google search stuff all the time. I used to Google, and then I'd hit like the top 3 sites. If I really want to go deep, I'd go back to like page 5 on results and start looking. I don't do that anymore. You've got the AI summary at the top. You go, da 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 da. This is what I want to know. Here's the AI summary. Usually 95% of the time, that's all I look. I don't even visit a website. So search is dead the way it used to be. Now it's different. And here's a young guy that understands it deeply. Old guys like me, I don't have time to understand that. I just need an expert to go, how do I do this? We've got, there's really some interesting speakers. I don't know if did either of you see Hudson Wyckoff last year?
That name sounds familiar, but I remember it just from the name, but it would have
Yeah.
stuck out to me, I would imagine.
Hudson, he lives in Franklin, Tennessee. He's close to Nashville, which was really exciting. For when ChatGPT hit in November of 2022, I started screwing with it. I was like, this is cool. This is going to change the game. I don't understand it. I started learning. Then I started asking everyone that I interviewed on my podcast, everybody I met. I'm like, who do you know that understands AI and could explain it to a window cleaner?
Yeah.
And I'm looking for the guy that speaks, normal English, but understands this
Yes.
technical world.
To break it
And
down.
yeah, and a year and a half later, I was talking to Nick over at Sotellus. Sotellus has been a sponsor at the huge convention. They do the review software. And he's like, oh, you got to talk to Hudson. I'm like, hook me up. Talk to Hudson. I'm like, this guy's freaking brilliant. He's so deep into the weeds of AI, but he could work magic with it and explain it in layman's terms. So I invited him to come and talk to our mastermind a year and a half ago. He came and I'm not kidding, 50 business owners in a room. Everybody in there's got a substantial business. Everyone had their jaw hanging open after this guy spoke. They're like, what the, what?
Yeah,
You
right.
can do that? And that was a year ago. So he spoke at the huge last year and I'm like, you got to come back. You're like dynamic. Then we got, we've got guys like, do you know Jonathan Maynard?
Yes.
Yeah. And he used to be one of the partners at the huge. He left and bought a restoration company, but it's like he's gone through all the machinations, the ups and downs of starting from scratch, working your way up, getting it,
Yeah.
there's chaos and then this crumbles and then you build something else and then he spread himself too thin and then he divested and he focused. And now, like just a month ago, he moved from Virginia to the Ozarks in northern Arkansas, but his business is still in Virginia. So he's 800 miles away from his business. It runs without him. He's built leadership and he's got vision, clarity, leadership, and a foundation of good people. And he's on a Zoom call with them twice a week and it runs without him. I'm like, that's stunning. Going from
That's a goal.
chaos to clarity. Yeah. And so he's speaking about that, like chaos to clarity. So some of the speakers are going to be teaching something very tactical, like how to get more leads using my Google My Business page, how to optimize that. That's pure money. Some people are going to be teaching, this is how you close a sale. Like this is Ryan Lee. You know Ryan Lee, the lighting guy. He spoke last year. He's not able to be there this year. He's taking his daughter to college. So
Well,
it's
that sounds like a good reason.
yeah, right. He teaches something
Yeah.
called the price marinade, and it's a brilliant piece of psychology for price conditioning when you go to give a bid. And he does it so smoothly. And we got guys, so they'll just teach you a concept like that. And I kid you not, like Ryan first shared that with us in our mastermind 2 years ago, the price marinade, price conditioning. And it's so dumb, you think this will never work. But it works like this. And he's in lighting. So it would go in, the outdoor permanent lighting, landscape lighting. And, the guy's got a nice house and he goes, how much you think this would be? And he said, a job like this could be as much as 100 grand. And the guy goes, what? You better not bring me a price of 100 grand. You can leave now. That's insane. And he goes, let me just take a look around. Takes a look around, comes back and he goes, hey, got some options for you. Good news, actually not 100 grand. You've got, the bottom option is 45 and the top is 60. And he goes through his presentation. But what he did is he positioned $100,000 in that guy's head. So
Yeah.
anything less than that suddenly
Is very
sounds
good.
reasonable.
Yeah.
We do that with our window cleaning. Somebody go, how much do you think a job like this? And I was like, 1,500, 2,500. And they're like, ooh, ouch, that seems like a lot. And we come back and it's $800. And they go, oh, hell yeah, I'll do it. But if you walked up and said, it's going to be $800, they go, ooh, ouch, that's too much. So a piece of like one little tidbit like that, like if you just learned that at the huge convention, you took it home and did it, it'd be worth $100,000 to your company in a year.
Yep.
It's nuts, the vast array of and quality of speakers we have, that if you just take away one real thing and apply it, it'll make you money. When the first year I went to the huge convention, it was in National Harbor. I think it was 2016 or 2017. I had been cleaning windows for 20 plus years, 25. Never been to an industry event, had zero interest, but I had one of those moments where I think it was when I turned 50. I was like, told my wife, I was like, I don't want to carry the ladder anymore. I need to build a business, not a job. And she's like, you better get busy. Find somebody that's already done it. I'm like, well, there's this, I buy stuff from WCR that you can't see my stack of water fed poles in the back. We only use 0 poles. I love them.
Woo woo.
Yep. But I went
Big
to the
time
huge
King Zero over here.
Awesome. I'll walk over to our spare poles in a minute. All of our good ones are out in Vance. But I went to the huge convention, but I made goals ahead of time. It's like, I want to meet industry leaders and I want to find 3 serious minded business builders that have a business that's twice or three times the size of mine. I'm going to spend time with them. And as serendipity would have it, because I was clear on what I wanted, the general session when he opened on Thursday morning, Howard Partridge was the keynote speaker, Mr. Phenomenal. And I sat next to a dude named Brian Haggerty from Jersey. We were chatting. His business was 3 times larger than mine. He had cash in the bank the way I wanted to. And I was like, let me take you to lunch, dude. He's like, yeah, whatever. So we go to lunch, and I told him, he said, what's your biggest problem? I said, accounts receivables. He's like, that's fucking stupid. How do you
Yep,
have
that sounds like
receivables?
me.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, man. And he's like, here's what we do. And this is old news now, but at that time, because I didn't know it was groundbreaking, he said, we only take credit cards. People give us a card up front. When we finish the job, we charge a card. That's how we do it. And I was like, I can't do that. He's like, you got to do it. I was like,
Yeah.
well, what if they want to pay by check? What if they want? And he said, then tell them to use somebody else. That's what we do. And I'm like, it broke my head, because I was like, you can't do that. You have to do what the customer wants. And he's like, no, you decide. It's your business. You decide how you want it to run, and you set your rules, and that's how you play. I was like, oh my God. So from that, we made that shift, and we just raised our rates enough to cover the card charge. I was like, it's going to cost me money. He's like, Brian, I love him so much because he's so Jersey. He's like, just fucking raise your prices, dude. And I was like, okay. And it's so dumb now to go. I was so nervous about raising my prices 5%. I thought I'd lose all my customers. Nobody cared. I didn't lose a single customer, and we made an extra $25,000 that year.
Damn.
Just based
Nice.
on that increased fee. So in 2 years, that lunch with Brian, random dude I met at the convention, made me 50 grand. I was like, I am never missing another event.
So are you
Like,
still taking them out to lunch?
I
Every time
offer
you see
every
him, right?
year. Yeah.
That's outstanding. So
Yeah.
talking about like how I'm a huge believer in things happen for a reason, timing, all of that good stuff, right? I think it was last year I went to the huge, and I feel like actually no, both times I've just come across exactly who I intended to meet or wanted to or had checklist or had on my checklist. The first year was Jersey from WCR. And then last year, actually it was everybody. And we all know Frank Graef and his antics and what he means to our community and whatnot. But as I'm walking into or outside to go grab a puff, Frank, Alex, and Chris Lambrinides are walking in, and I'm like literally the first person that all 3 of them see. So it was like all of it was meant to happen. Yeah, all of it was meant to happen. And even though the Gaylord is so large, once you get inside and you've done the laps a couple times, you pretty much run into everybody at some
Yeah.
point or another. Another thing that I really loved about it, and I brought 2 of my friends last year to the huge from Phoenix. They own a sunscreen company.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I told you this or not before, but they came out last year, and they are big in going to the meetings and the breakout rooms and all of this and whatnot. I didn't see them the whole time. I mean, I saw them in between, but they were going to every single breakout session and every single thing. I get there on Sunday morning to catch my flight. They're not there. Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? And they're on time for everything.
Everything.
All of a sudden they rolled in, and one of them is still taking notes. He's reading a book that he got while he was there, and he's doing notes on the flight.
Yeah.
He's taking notes. He changed everything about his business. Did like I can't say 180 because it wasn't half. It was like a 360. And
Wow.
yeah, so now they're pumping stuff out. They came home, they changed all of their they got wraps on their trucks, they did different marketing. They're doing all of these things, and all of these ideas came from the huge. And depending on your budget and all these other things, you can take whatever you want from the huge in the breakout sessions, but I thought that I would share with you how much it affected two of my friends, which in turn affected me, because they're always throwing me stuff, and I'm super happy to be a part, and uh know that I'm going, and it's just a great spot to gather as much information as you can.
I agree. One challenge that I have, most people have, is like you get so many good ideas
Yeah.
that you can't implement everything. And what I really encourage people to do is like take all your notes, take every note, and then when you're on the flight home, review them and highlight like these are the best ones and pick three. Like I'm going to do these three in the next 30 to 90 days and just get three done. And if you do, it'll change the trajectory of your business. And if you can manage more than that, do more, but just start, if you don't have priorities, nothing gets done.
Yeah, and I have a hard time, like, sometimes I get a little overwhelmed. I'm not the most organized person. And I hear all these great things, and I'm that guy. So I'll get 10 of those ideas, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, where do I start? So
Yeah.
I kind of need to organize a little better and go that route so I don't get overwhelmed. Any pointers, any clues, any tips, pro hacks for those going for the first time this year?
Yeah. I mean, here's a pro hack number one, like go to the website and look at the speakers and get a sense of this is who's teaching what, and pick two people that you will not miss. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're in their breakout. Don't try to do everything. It's too much. It's like going to the buffet at the casino in Vegas. Like there's way too much, but there's something for everyone. Like pick the stuff that fits you. And then something I really encourage people to do, like this is really important, and is just write down a goal. For example, like if you want, like I want to meet Frank Rave, or I want to meet, I want to talk to Jersey about the new Zero portable system. This is my personal goal.
That was my hugest thing my first time. Like, and I saw him and I was like, oh, I don't want to go interrupt him yet. I want to wait. I
Yeah,
want to wait. And then like there was a break in, it goes in flows, right? There's when people are going up to people and talking and whatever. And then all
yeah.
of a sudden I had this tiny break, and it was like parting of the sea. And I was like, oh, here's my shot. You know what I
It's my
mean?
turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. And you know what? And it was exactly what I needed. And I laid out what I was going through. And to be honest, it's kind of the same thing I'm going through this year. We have slow times in Arizona, and it's the summertime. And so I laid it all out for him, and he just gave me some solid advice. And it was, like I said, once I checked that off, then I felt like I could go do some of the other things that I really needed to see. So that's
yeah.
great, great, great advice. Um, are you guys doing a VIP dinner this year?
There is a VIP dinner, but it's not the way we've done in the past.
Yeah.
The VIP dinner is everyone that's in our mastermind. It's called,
Mm-hmm.
ironically, it's called the Huge Mastermind. It used to be called AMP. When we first started, it was called BBB, which was business, bourbon, and bullshit.
Okay.
We had to clean up our act a little bit because
Yeah.
some people like bourbon a lot, and we're like, you know what, we're not getting everything done we need to. So anyway, the Huge Mastermind. Everyone that's a member in that we have a private VIP dinner for those guys and a handful of guests. If someone wanted to be a part of that, we do have a visitors day for the Huge Mastermind on Wednesday, the 20th, the day before. It's the same day as all the pre-show classes. And it's $250. People can come to the mastermind, we're doing a full session of like how to, it's a vision building session to help people like unlock their future in their business and really see it and feel it. And then Thursday night, we're having that private dinner with the two keynote speakers and a guy he's a mentor of one of our partners. This guy, his name is Wayne Powers. Wayne
Okay.
Powers, not probably Austin Powers' dad. Wayne Powers
Cool
is
name.
so cool. This guy, he was the president of Time Warner Inc. And
Oh, damn.
then he was the president of Yahoo North
Sounds
America
about right.
when Yahoo, who was really, really relevant. So he's used to
Mhm.
steering billion-dollar companies, and his insight is so impactful, and it's really interesting. It's like if you've been through something terrible in your life, like if you've been through a bad accident or disease and you recovered, somebody else is experiencing that, you can give them perspective and say, hey, it's going to be okay. It feels like shit right now, but if you just do X, Y, Z, you're going to come out and you're going to be great. And sometimes it's not even the advice they give, but knowing that someone's already been through it and survived gives you the hope, which gives you the fuel to move forward. And having someone like that in, like, as a mentor or a guy in the background, like some of the problems that you face in your business or I face in my business, like, to him, he never puts them down, but it's like, this is not a big deal. This is
Yeah.
how you work through it. Just go, you know, boop, 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 and he'll give you a different perspective. And I'm like, holy crap. So we have, you know, we get to have dinner with those three guys. We're going to have a little Q&A panel, which will be a ton of fun. But
Yeah. Are
aside
you
from that,
doing
go
at the
ahead.
Standard again?
No, we're not. The Standard's being remodeled.
Oh,
So
damn.
can't use their event space over there. The building's like 150 years old, so it's time. I mean, what a cool place, but
Yeah, that
not this
venue
year.
is awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be right at the Opryland in
Oh, sweet.
in a banquet room or somewhere. Yeah, don't ask me. It's like when we go there, my job is to talk to people and make sure the connections are made. And if somebody says, "Hey, what room is so and so speaking in?" I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I I usually grab somebody and go, "Where am I supposed to be?" And they're like, "You need to go this way. Get this room." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Because
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. We're really looking forward to it. Obviously our our presence there this year is going to be a little different than it has been in years past, and we're really excited about that. Maybe next year, shoot, if we keep on doing this, maybe next year we'll get a booth. Who knows, right, Deeds?
Doing deeds. We'll see.
yeah,
We'll see.
let's plant a seed of an idea right now. We did it year before last. It worked out pretty good. Last year we didn't have the capacity, and this year we didn't have enough takers. But one year we set up, we called it Podcast Row. So we had
Yeah.
3 podcast stations in the
Neat.
convention floor. And it's for people like the guys like you that have a
Yeah.
show, that want to broadcast live and bring your guests in right there. And we would love to do that again. It's just,
Yeah.
we need somebody that says, yeah, I want to do that.
We'd be down.
They do
Yeah.
that at the Super Bowl, and it's one of the best things. They call that Radio Row, and it's one of my favorite ideas. I mean, to be honest, I would love to be a part of something like that, because I know that after watching it from the last 2 years, I know that I can grab people real quick, and just even if I can get them to sit for 5 minutes, and share their experience about what's going on, it is what people like to see. So we're going to try and do a little bit of that this year. We do our show. Obviously, it'll probably be a little later, but I think we're going to be popping in and out throughout the day, just grabbing people whenever they're willing to pop on and say hello and tell us what their experience has been like so far. And I know that you're always on the run. So if you see Mark and I out there with our laptop open, and he'll probably have earbuds in or something, but if you see us out there doing something live, please feel free to stop in and say hello to everybody. You have a couple minutes still, or you got to run?
No, I still got a couple minutes.
I'd love to be able to, if you want to show us some of the warehouse.
I'm going to
Deeds, you doing all right on time, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I've got nothing planned. I'm good.
Cool. Well, I will back to if I see you guys with the laptop open, Deeds,
Yeah.
I've got, that's why I'll find you and hand you your birthday present t-shirt.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be doing laps. I'll see you around a couple times.
Okay.
Damn, that sun is killing me. There we go.
Cool. So this is our shop. It's not super fancy, but it's really functional. I did want to show you this because I've mentioned, like you asked, I'm like, have a goal for the show. One of my goals, like I help run the Huge, but I have my own business to run back here in Montana. And we have, this is really scrappy looking. We use water fed poles a ton, but we have our own water purification plant in-house.
Awesome.
And then we've got 60-gallon tanks in the back of each van. And when they roll in, we just fill up. So it's really fast. And when we get on site, literally you can step out of the van, grab the water fed pole, and be cleaning a window in 2 minutes. But we're sending out a couple of satellite vehicles now where they don't have access to water. So we're like, we need a standalone, point of production water fed thing. So we bought this Triple Crown thing, and it's okay. But so one of my goals, like I'm gonna have time with Jersey and say, show me the Zero portable units and figure out which one's best for ours, because we're adding one van this year. We'll probably add 2 more next year, satellites, as we spread out. And they need to have something that's systematically the same and highly functional. I'm like, gotta have it. This is we got clutter here, but this is our meeting table every Monday, Wednesday morning. We get together with the whole team. Monday is when we preview the work and we review last week and we solve problems. Wednesday is where we learn, like it's more philosophical or foundational. It's like, these are principles we grow with. So meeting, we put our stats up on the board every Wednesday. This is the highlight of the show, the coffee maker.
Yeah.
Dudes, this was a reward for the team for
Yes.
busting. We did our first ever $100,000 month in March. Our best
Damn,
March, best March
Gourmet
we
stuff.
yeah, best March we ever had was last year. It was like $42,000, and this year we more than doubled that. And there's a lot of reason behind it, but it's a lot of the growth tactics that we learned at the Huge. I was like, I just applied it. I was like, holy shit! It seemed impossible, and then it worked. This is where, like everybody, we try to systematize stuff. Let me just show you, like everybody gets a kit and a caddy, and they're all outfitted exactly the same. You got your bucket on a belt, you got your towels and your screen tool and your pliers and stuff in here. And in the bucket, let's see if this one's outfitted. No, I could do better. They all have, we narrowed down, we got 4 squeegees, 2 wands, and a scraper. That's all the tools that everybody gets. It's standardized. People want to get more as they go along, they can. Then this is a supply shelf. It's got all the clean towels, the magic erasers, the steel wool, the booties, the gloves, the stuff that we need all the time. And then, little systems. So we have the kits and caddies set up for 16 people. We have 10 people right now, 10 crew. The workbench, we try to keep it clean. Anytime something gets broken and we can't fix it, the guys can't fix it, we put it here, mark it and tag it so somebody else can fix it. We try to get it turned around in a day. Hey, Thomas, can you peek around the corner? You can't hear
What up,
Thomas. This is Thomas. He is our production manager. He's been with the company for 3 years, 3.5 now, 3.5.
Damn.
Actually, he's not going to the Huge convention this year. He went last year, but he's going to Madison, Wisconsin, to Green Safety to do a high-rise window cleaning certification. He does all our high-rise work right now.
Sweet. And that's Jeffrey Scott, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Thomas is great, and he's a climber by nature. So it was a natural fit for him to climb on tall buildings here in Montana and do all that stuff. So good on Thomas. Everything else is pretty boring. I did tell you I was going to show you our stack of water-fed poles. This is gear row. Got to have the blowers, get the gutters clean. Here's our rope bags for high-rise window cleaning. Thomas is working on our high-rise window cleaning kits right now. There's only about eight buildings in town that require high-rise, but we want to do them right. So we try to keep everything together in one system. Blowers, rope bags, cable bags, a stack of spare ladders back here. And here's our spare water-fed pole selection. Like I mentioned, all the new ones are in vans, but as you can see, tried and true, worn out. Can you still see that says 0 on it?
Nice little faded. That's actually kind of one of my favorites. That means it's been loved.
That is right. It's been loved. We use the Zero 40-foot poles. We take off 2 sections usually, but everybody's got a 40-footer in the van, and then we've got a bunch of the extensions. We've got a couple of buildings we do. Our tallest one that we do with water-fed is 5 stories, and we put a guy on the roof for safety that's got a line attached to the head so that we don't drop a pole and like smack an old lady or something like that. That would be the worst day. But I don't know. We have a lot of fun. We've got a lot of gear. And this is one thing that I wonder if we'll ever get done. It's my project bike. I have a daily rider. I've got a BMW touring bike, but this is an old school Yamaha FCR 600. It's a wheelie bike. And it's been,
You're never
it's
too
been,
old to pop a wheelie, right?
that's right. It's been in progress for 2 years. So we'll see if we ever get it done. Um, I'm gonna have you wave over here. We got Thomas, we got Darby. Darby's over here.
Darby, what up, dude?
Darby's a veteran.
Morning.
He's been with us off and on for 6 years. The off part was he actually moved to Casa Grande, Arizona for a year and a half and
I'm
learned
sorry.
what sweat is really like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Darby said, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, Casa Grande is a town halfway between Phoenix and Tucson, for those of you who don't know. It's probably maybe 50,000 people. Um, they have a outlet mall there and some homes and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. And yeah, it's that'd be a tough sell. I actually do have a friend that works out there. Um, but yeah, man, that's a tough sell out there.
It is.
Sid,
I
let me
think
ask you,
he referred to it as the devil's armpit.
yeah, it's a muggy, dusty, dirty spot. And it really is. It's halfway between Tucson and Phoenix, and that's where all that wind and dirt comes from when we get our haboobs. So yeah, it's a crazy spot.
So we're super fans. Somebody mentioned the other day, I posted that picture of me and John Lee together, and we look
Yeah.
like twins.
Yeah.
And one of the guys from WCR is like, "Dude, we got to get you some swag." And I'm like, "Yes, please," because all of our swag gets claimed instantly by our crew. They're like, "WCR hat, got it." I'm like, "I want one." They're like, "Too bad, Sid."
We'll get you a care package
You
sent
get-
out today, Sid. We'll definitely get you a care package sent out today. What back to real quick,
Yeah.
window cleaning and window washing. What do you think your ratio is to commercial to residential?
We're probably 60% residential, 40% commercial.
And how far do you have a travel area that you like? You'll go 50
Yeah.
miles, you'll do 20 miles. What's the deal?
Almost everything we do is in a 30-mile radius.
Okay.
Most of it's actually in Missoula proper. So literally, we're pretty blessed. We almost never travel more than 10 miles. But we do have service areas that are 60 miles away, 90 miles away, and we'll bundle jobs for that. There's Flathead Lake has a lot of like second homes. It's kind of a resort area. And so we go up there for 1 week every year and do like 50 houses. We'll send 2 to 4 guys up and spend an entire week in that area. But we don't usually drive back and forth. Drive time is just a
Cool.
killer.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that you've been to Arizona or Phoenix before.
Yeah.
So everything in Phoenix, Arizona is super spread out. I mean, Queen Creek, Gilbert, all that East Valley stuff is like 52 miles from me, 60 miles from me. And when I got started after my sobriety and after I had a vehicle, I basically would travel wherever. And then
Yeah.
I broke it down to about a 30-mile radius. And yeah, so it's just now I don't do that 52-mile very often. It just is a time killer. I'm not one to deal with traffic either, and my patience is extremely low. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of travel, especially you guys are in an urban area. We're not. So we don't get a lot of the traffic issues, but it's a profit killer unless you really account for it and charge for it. Like it's hard. Do you know Ashley Bissing? She spoke last year. She has One Love Social. She does a lot of lead generation for concrete floor companies and garbage bin cleaning. But she
That
teaches
name sounds again familiar, but I don't know her.
yeah, she's really cool. She's on point. Um, she teaches a little concept called 5 Mile Famous. So if you're in an area that's urban, it's like basically stake out your zone. This is my 5 miles, and
Yeah.
you want to own that territory. Wesley Bloom in Atlanta, he's got a power washing company. He started in college as a side hustle. Now they're probably 4.5 million in revenue, and he's not a kid. He's probably 30, but
Yeah.
he started with he's like, I've got 5 square miles, and I'm going to focus on that until I absolutely dominate it. And he was at almost 3 million a year before they like deliberately moved out of that 5 mile radius. I was like, you can kill it in a small area if you're the guy, and it's easier to be a big fish in a small pond, then there's a hell of a lot of fish in a big pond like Phoenix.
You're absolutely correct. And one of the things too that when I got restarted uh before COVID again, I didn't know any other residential window cleaners, Sid. Like it wasn't this hustle, it wasn't this YouTube, it wasn't all this stuff. Um, there was other window cleaning companies, but they didn't really mess around with residential. It was like they didn't want to have anything to do with it. They didn't train their employees how to clean interiors. It
Yeah.
wasn't until about 5, 6 years ago. Actually, it wasn't until about 3, 4 years ago until we had this huge residential push. I could now name you maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 other residential window cleaners just in my 20-mile radius. So it is saturated. But at the same time, if you've done things right and you do proper work, you'll still get those phone calls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So our little market, so Missoula is about 74,000 people. And if you Googled it today, window cleaners in Missoula, you'll find 18 window cleaners listed on the Google map pack. And even with that, the market, it seems saturated. It's like that's 18 window cleaners in a small neighborhood, small area.
Yeah.
There's plenty of work for everybody that wants to hustle. And no matter what, we're probably the dominant player, but we can't get to everything. And then
Yeah.
there's a niche for everybody. It's like there's one cleaning company we know they don't charge enough. They're super cheap. They don't do incredible work, but it's good enough. And if somebody's worried about price, we say, hey, call these guys. If somebody's worried about, like we have people we recommend all the time because we just can't freaking get to all the work.
But also you don't want all the work.
I know. Like there's some stuff we like, and that's a big deal to go, this is the people I won't work with. One of the most satisfying things that I've ever gotten to do was let customers go that weren't a good fit.
Yeah.
You probably had one. It's like you have the stereotypical Karen, and they pay good, but they're such a pain in the ass to deal with. You're like telling that person, hey, you know what? We can't do this anymore. Like find somebody else. Like here's a couple of names I recommend. That's so happy to know that you don't have to deal with somebody like that again. Yeah.
Music to your ears.
Yeah. I'm gonna point. She's gonna be very nervous. This is my Emily. Emily is our secret weapon. 100%. Emily runs the back office, answers the phone. She's a scheduling maniac, and I literally do not comprehend how she's able to manage the flow of traffic inside her business. And like, she just doesn't miss anything. Things don't get like lost in the cracks. And thank God for her, because like this guy, I don't have the mental capacity for that at all.
Is that a thing that happens with age or where you're, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, because I'm going through that. I'm talking about like also with the amount of responsibilities that you're also taking on and what have you, because I turn 47 next month. And like you're saying, the 40s has been probably the best decade of my life. I used to do all sorts of wild shit, but the 40s has been a great time of my life, and I'm growing and maturing and learning stuff. But at the same time, I think I forgot more stuff than I would have ever known, because I just don't have the capacity to do some of it anymore.
Yeah, it's probably both. I mean, you start to get, like it's like your muscles, you have atrophy as you get older, unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. But most of it is just capacities. No matter how capable you are, there's only so much you can do. The best juggler in the world, I mean, you've seen jugglers do 4, 5, 6. Best jugglers in the world can do 8 plates or 8 pins, but they can't do 20. Like nobody can do 20, because it's just beyond your capacity. So you gather more responsibilities, either you bottleneck or you delegate. Like some of it's got to go to somebody else. And the cool thing about like guys like you and Deeds, myself, the guys that hustle, you've done everything yourself, is like you feel like at some point you're like, I'm the best at this. Nobody else can do it better. That may or may not be true, but you can find somebody that can do it 80% as good as you, or 90% as good as you. Sometimes you find somebody like Emily that can do it 150 times better than you. But if you take that responsibility and hand it to somebody else, because the next guy is young and hungry. They're ready. and they're just looking for the opportunity, and you give them that opportunity to grow, and then it takes it off your plate. Yeah, you got to manage some stuff, but pretty soon it's like they just handle it, and you don't have to worry about it. I do have to go because we're getting ready for our meeting, but I'm going to do something. If it's okay, I'm going to turn off the headphones so you can hear the rest, and then have some of my guys shout at you guys and tell you hello. Hang on.
Right on, man. Hey, well, if you're gonna wrap up to, oh dang it.
Hang on. All right. Can you guys hear me at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here. Okay. Pretty quiet here, but
Yep, we got you.
here's the crew. So we got Darby, Jake, Emily, Thomas.
Hey Darby, what up, Jake? Emily.
Good morning.
Can you-
I hear you
Emily,
kick
Thomas.
ass.
This
Keep
is
Sid
Deeds
sane.
and Goo.
Oh, howdy. Good morning, fellas.
Good to see you guys.
So Goo's down in Arizona.
Morning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Holding towels.
Yeah, I said the same
Deeds is
thing
East
about
Coast
Casa
somewhere. I
Grande.
don't even know where you are, Mark.
I'm in Houston. I'm Houston Central Time, Chicago's.
I'm having a hell of a time with my audio. So I
Oh,
can still see you
Houston.
guys, but I sure can't hear you more. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
He's in
Gotcha.
Houston, Texas.
He's in Houston?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Or you believe this?
Yeah.
Houston's the only place in the world I fell asleep on a motorcycle on the loop around Houston in like 1990 because it was hot and traffic was stopped. I'm just sitting there waiting. I was too dumb to just lane split and blast out of there. So I was sitting
Wow.
there waiting for traffic to move and fell asleep on a bike
It happens. You know,
Yeah.
the 90s.
Yeah.
I remember the
Yeah.
90s.
in the 90s. It was 90s in the year and 90s in temperature.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to do one more spin around. I've got, the crews are all coming in to get things done. This is Devin.
Hello.
Devin, what up, dude?
What up?
Devin is the actual leader of the branch of the Church of the Subgenius here in town. That means when you say subgenius, that means he is the genius.
Nice.
So Jacob over
Awesome.
here and Kevin in the background, these the crew running things for Shine Auto Detailing. Phenomenal group of guys. So Anyway,
Awesome. And
here we are.
how many houses or how many window cleaning jobs do you guys think you'll tackle in a day?
what do we have on schedule for today, house-wise?
We'll have 2 houses, gutters, and stuff.
On a regular day in busy season, we'll have 4 crews out and I'll probably do 3 houses each. So 12,
Nice.
10 to 15 houses a day is normal.
That's outstanding. Well, Sid, we know that you got to run, but it means a ton to us that you're kind enough to take. You did exceeded expectations. We got
Yeah,
a
thank
whole
you.
hour with you. I can't believe it. What up, dude?
There are more guys coming in. Now we got the whole blue crew coming in.
Sweet.
Wow.
The khaki
Well,
pants.
I
Love it.
really, so I want to put it right back to you. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate that, one, you have this consistency and this rhythm, and it gives people a place to connect online before they can connect in person. And you're building a community. And I remember, Goo, when you and I talked about a year ago, it was
It was
before you
insane.
did your Winter Cleaners World Tour. And
Yeah.
you said, like, you had a compelling visions, like, I have this experience and other people have this challenge and I want to help them and I want to connect them. And now you're doing exactly that. And that's pretty remarkable. You just stepped into it and said, let's get this done. And Deeds, I don't know your backstory enough, but I would probably say the same to you. But thank you guys for being like industry
Here to help.
supporters and like the guys that go, let's go out there and get shit done. This is real. Let's go. Thank you.
You melted my heart, Sid. You're actually
Thank you,
making me
Sid.
choke up a little bit. That phone call that you made to me in September was on a day that I really needed to hear a voice like that. Like, I'm just going back to that phone call. I just been chewed out by a client that I'd never even met. And like I told you earlier in this conversation, I'm a huge believer in things happen and timing and whatever. And that phone call that you made to me that September day really pulled my head out of the gutter emotionally. And I just want to say thanks, man. And if Mark and I, Deeds and I, can ever provide a cool spot and bring somebody else out of the gutter the way that you did for me that day, that's what we're here for. And we're going to keep trying to do it. And this thing wouldn't be popping if it weren't for Mark Deeds Klazinski. So Deeds, I appreciate you,
Oh,
buddy.
well, thank you,
I
Jason.
hope everybody has a stellar day. I'm going to have you, Deeds, wrap up the show for us today on your birthday. what do you got to tell everybody, brother? Anybody you want to give us thanks to?
Well, thanks yeah, shout out to Sid. Thanks for joining us and showing us your crew and your shop. That's awesome. Inspirational for what we all accolade to get systems and stuff in place. Thanks WCR and Zero for sponsoring the show. Thank you, Jason, for everything you do for us. And yeah, just thanks to Window Cleaners for stopping by. Thanks for everybody for stopping in. Make it a great day today.
You're
Change your
absolutely,
rubbers.
you're absolutely right. Thanks again, Sid, for joining us. Indeed, I love you, buddy. Happy birthday. We'll see everybody in just a couple weeks.
Thank you.
And pop in on Friday. Guest to be named.
All
Have a
right,
great
to be
day,
coming.
everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you,
again
guys.
for your time, Sid. You're the best, buddy.
Thanks, Sid.
Keep up the great work. I'll see you guys in Nashville.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That was wonderful.